Hi friends, welcome to Karpaga Vruksha, Way to Happiness. Today, all can view the complete Sadhana Padha. Pranams to Maharishi Patanjali. Yogena chittasya padena vacham malam sharirasya cha vaidyakena yopam karotum pravaram muninam Patanjalim Pranjalim Ranatosmi. Sadhana Padha, the path of practice, overall view. Sutra 1 and 2. What is Kriya Yoga and why we have to do? Tapasvadhyaya Ishvara Pranidhanani Kriya Yogaha. Tapaha, intense or tremendous practice. Swadhyaya, self-study. Ishvara Pranidhanani, complete surrender to God, are the preliminary steps or actions towards yoga. Samadhi bhavanartha klesha tanu karanarthascha. And we may attain the power of concentration or equanimity of mind through the removal of kleshas, that is sufferings. In third sutra, he explains what are those kleshas, that is sufferings. What are those sufferings? Avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha, abhiniveshaha, kleshaha. Avidya, ignorance. Asmita, I-ness or egoism. Raga, attachment. Dvesha, hatred or aversion. Abhiniveshaha, fear for death, were the causes of man's sufferings. From 4th to 9th sutra, he explaining about kleshas, that is sufferings. Avidya kshetram uttaresham prasupta tanu vichinna udharanam. Avidya, ignorance, is the root cause of all the other obstacles, which are of the levels of prasupta, intensity, tanu, feeble, vichinna, intermittent, udharanam, activated, or free flow. Anitya ashuchi dukkhanatmasu nitya shuchi sukhatmakyadirra vidya. To regard the non-eternal as eternal, the impure as pure, the painful as pleasant, and the non-atman as the atman, this is ignorance, that is avidya. Drikdarshana shaktyoho ekatmata iva asmita. Asmita, I, ascribes selfhood to pure awareness by identifying with the sense of Drik, seer, the Darshan Shakti, the power of sight. Sukhanushayi ragaha. Attachment is a residue of pleasant experience. Dukkhanushayi dveshaha. Aversion is the residue of suffering. Swarasavahi vitusho api tatha rudo abhiniveshaha. Clinging to life is inherent both in the ignorant and in the wisdom. This is because the mind retains impressions of death experience from many previous incarnations. In Sutra 10 and 11, he explains beautifully how to destroy those kleshas, those sufferings. Te prati prasava heyaha sukshmaha. Those above mentioned kleshas, that is sufferings, are sukshma, subtle. They can be destroyed by resolving the mind back into its primal cause, seeing where they come from. Dhyana heyastat vrittayaha. In their fully developed or gross form, they can be overcome through meditation. In Sutra 12 and 13, he explains from where do we get those kleshas. Now introducing karmashaya and karma vipaka. Klesha mulaha karmashayo drishta drishta janma vedaniyaha. All the experiences which we have in this life and all the experiences which we have in the future is because of the karmashayas, which are rooted in the kleshas, that is sufferings. Sati mule tad vipako jatya yudbogaha. So long as the root cause exists, it will bear fruits or it will result such as rebirth, lifespan, and the experiences of pleasure and pain. Vipaka means results. In Sutra 14 and 15, he explains what do we get from Karmashayam. Tehlada paridava palav punya punya hetutvat. Experiences of pleasure and of pain are the fruits of merits and demerits respectively. Parinamatthaba samskara dukkhair guna vritti virodacha dukkameva sarvam vivekinaha. Those who are driven by the intellect, vivekakyati, perceive everything as unpleasant, since everything has an intrinsic nature of change which leads to afflictions and misery, and due to the conflicting nature of the actions born out of the three gunas. In Sutra 16 to 21, he explains how to find a solution for removal of dukkham. Heyam dukkham anagatam. The pain which is yet to come may be avoided. Drashtru drashyayo samyogo heya hetuhu. Uniting the drashta. Drashta means seer, the one who sees, and the drishyam, that which is seen, is the cause which helps one to avoid it. Prakasha kriya sthiti sheelam bhutendriyatmakam bhoga apavargartam drishyam. Drishyam, that which is seen, has the tendencies of prakasha, manifestation, kriya, action, sthiti, continuation, is of the nature, bhuta, elements, and indriya, senses, and serves the purpose of bhoga, experience, and apavarga, liberation. Vishesha avishesha linga matra alingani guna parvani. Gunas, qualities of the drishyam, can take up all possible states of being. Vishesha, specific; avishesha, generic, not specific; linga matra, defined; alinga, undefined. Drishta drishimatraha shuddho api pratyayanupashyaha. Here, drishta, the seer, is Atman. The Atman, the experiencer, is pure consciousness. It appears to take on the changing colors of the mind. In reality, it is unchangeable. Tatatta eva drishyasya. The object of experience exists only to serve the purpose of the Atman. In Sutra 22 and 23, he explains how everyone sees the world. What is samyoga? Kritartam prati nashtamapi anashtam tathanya sadharanatvat. Though the object of experience becomes unreal to him who has reached the state of liberation, it remains real to all other beings. Swaswami shaktyoho swarupa upalabdhi hetuhu samyogaha. The Atman, Purusha, the experiencer, is identified with Prakriti, the object of experience, in order that the true nature of Prakriti and the Atman may be known. In Sutra 24 and 25, he explains about the cause of Samyoga, getting freedom from Dukkha. Tasya heturra vidya. The cause of Samyoga is avidya. Tathabhavat samyoga abhavohanam tadrishehe kaivalyam. When ignorance has been destroyed, this identification ceases. Then bondage is at an end and the experiencer is independent and free. In Sutra 26 and 27, he explains how can we attain Kaivalya. Vivekakyatirra viplava hanopayaha. The remedy to remove the dukkham is the uninterrupted discriminative knowledge. Tasya saptada pranta bhumi prajna. The experiencer gains this knowledge or wisdom in 7 stages, advancing toward the highest. In Sutra 28 and 29, he explains what we have to do to get Kaivalya. Yes, introducing Ashtanga Yoga. Yoganga Anushthanada Shuddhikshaye Jnanadiptira Vivekakyatehe. If we practice the limbs of yoga, all impurities have been removed by the spiritual disciplines, and a man's spiritual vision opens to the light-giving knowledge of the Atman. Yama niyama asana pranayama pratyahara dharana dhyana samadhayo ashtau angani. Yama niyama asana pranayama pratyahara dharana dhyana and samadhi are the 8 limbs of yoga, that is Ashtanga Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga. In Sutra 30 and 31, he explains what is Yama, which is commonly known as social discipline and Adhikara Yoga. Ahimsa Satya Asteya Brahmacharya Aparigraha Yamaha. Yama is abstention from harming others, from falsehood, from theft, from incontinence and from greed. Ete jati desha kala samaya anavachinnaha sarvabhauma mahavritam. These forms of abstention are basic rules of conduct. They must be practiced by every man, woman, child and by every soul, irrespective of nation, country or position. That is the Mahavritam. In Sutra 32 and 33, he explains what is Niyama. It is commonly known as self-discipline and Adhikara Yoga. Shaucha Santosha Tapasvadhyaya Ishvara Pranidhanani Niyamaha. The Niyamas are purity, contentment, mortification, study and devotion to God. Vitarka Badhane Pratipaksha Bhavanam. To be free from thoughts that distract one from yamas and niyamas, thoughts of an opposite kind must be cultivated. In Sutra 34, he explains what are vitarkas, how and why it happens, stages and its results. Vitarkaha himsadayaha kritakaritanumodita lobha-krodha moha-purvaka mridumadhyadimatra dukkha-jnana-ananta-phala iti pratibhaksha-bhavanam. The obstacles to yoga, such as acts of violence and untruth, may be directly created or indirectly caused or approved. They may be caused by greed, anger, or self-interest. They may be small or moderate or great, and they result in pain and ignorance. In order to overcome this, we should remember distracting thoughts. In Sutra 35 to 39, he explains benefits of following yama, benefits of following social disciplines. Ahimsa pratishtayam tatsannidhau vairathyagaha. By being steadfast in ahimsa, that is non-violence, enmity is given up in such a person's presence. Satya pratishtayam kriyapalashrayatvam. By being steadfast in satya, truthfulness, one attains to the power of ever fruitful action. Asteya pratishtayam sarvaratnopasthanam. By being established in asteya, non-stealing, all wealth comes near to him. Brahmacharya pratishtayam viryalabhaha. By being steadfast in brahmacharya, being in the path of the divine, one begets virya, vigor. Apare grahastairya janma kathanta sambodhaha. By being steadfast in aparigraha, non-acceptance of things, one understands how one's process of birth and death has been, will be. In Sutra 40 to 45, he explains benefits of following niyama, benefits of following self-discipline. Shauchat swanga jugupsa paraira samsargaha. From purification comes a disgust for one's own body and a lack of desire to associate with others. Sattva shuddhi saumanasya ekagrayendriya jaya atma darshana yogyatvani cha. Moreover, one achieves purification of the heart, cheerfulness of mind, the power of concentration, control of the passions, or fitness for the vision of the Atman. Santoshat anuttama sukhalabha. From contentment, one gains supreme happiness. Kayendriya siddhir shuddhikshayat tapasaha. Austerity resulting in the disappearance of impurity produces perfection of the body and sensual energy. Swadhyayat ishtadevata samprayogaha. As a result of self-study, one attains the vision of desired deity, can meet or converse. Samadhi siddhirishwara pranidhanat. As a result of devotion to God, one achieves samadhi, equanimity of mind. In Sutras 46 to 48, he explains about asanas. Sthira sukhamasanam. Posture should be seated in a position which is firm, that is steady but relaxed and comfortable. Prayatna shaitilyananda samapattibhyam. By relaxation of effort and meditation on the endless posture is mastered. Tatho dvantva anabhigadaha. From that one is no longer troubled by the dualities of sense experience. In Sutra 49 to 52, he explains about pranayama. Tasmin sati shvasa prashvasa yogadi vichedaka pranayamaha. After mastering the posture, the flow of inhalation and exhalation can be brought to a standstill. This is called breath regulation, pranayama. Bahya abhyantara sambhavriddhir desha kala sankhyabihi paridrishto dirgha sukshmaha. As the movement patterns of each breath, inhalation, exhalation and still are regulated as to place, time and area of focus, breath becomes spacious and subtle. Bahya abhyantara vishayakshepi chaturtaha. The fourth kind of pranayama is the stoppage of the breath, which is caused by concentration upon external or internal objects. Tataha kshiyate prakasha avaranam. From that practice, the covering of the inner light is removed. In Sutra 53 to 55, he explains the result of pranayama and about pratyahara. Dharana sucha yogyata manasaha. And the mind gets ability in perceptions. Swa vishaya samprayoge chitta svarupanukara ivendriyanam pratyaharaha. When the mind is withdrawn from sense objects, the sense organs also withdraw themselves from their respective objects and thus are said to imitate the mind. This is known as pratyahara. Tatah paramavashyata indriyanam. Then arises complete greatest mastery over the senses. Iti padanjala yoga darshane sadhana pado nama dvitiyaha padaha. Thus is the second chapter in Yoga Sutras called Sadhana Padha, composed by Maharishi Patanjali.